Hi, Beatrice.
Sorry for delay. I had
Okay.
some issues with my PC. Now
Okay.
it should be okay.
We have almost 70 registered persons. Just wait, just another minute. We have 16, 17. I think only Maria from Spain is missing. Okay. So I think you can start. Okay, good morning to everyone join us today to this webinar. First of all, I want to present myself. My name is Paulo Mendes. I am the coordinator of the work package of the Green Alliance, work package 5 of the Green Alliance, and I am in charge of conducting this event. I hope I succeed. So this event is organized by the work package 5, as I said, of the Green Alliance. And before you start the webinar, I would like to briefly introduce this alliance, particularly for those less familiar with it. So I will share the screen, a small presentation. Oh. Can you see the screen? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So well, who we are? The Alliance, the Green Alliance, is a transnational alliance of 9 European universities, as can you see, that is focused on sustainability. These 9 universities are small, medium-sized, and are located in peripheral regions of their countries. But all of them are aligned for the engagement with all the European regions. As can you see, we have 9 from this is the ATU. This is the coordinator of the work package 5 in Ireland. We have the University of Angers in France, Évora in Portugal, the University of Gavle in Sweden, also the University of Oradea in Romania, the Universitat of Magdeburg in Germany, the University of Parma in Italy, also the University of Wrocław in Poland, and also in Spain, the University of Extremadura. So, what is the meaning of sustainability for EU Green? So, this alliance is built around a perspective of sustainability and encompasses the economic, societal, cultural, and environmental dimensions and their impact on another. The approach is aligned with the sustainable development goals across all of four of our core missions. That is the education, the research, the innovation, and service to society. Together, we have built an inclusive and collaborative partnership that places these SDGs at the heart of our research and innovation approach, and of course integrates them in our teaching and learning model. So the mission is to create a pan-European academic space that is even more engaged with our non-academic stakeholders, with the aim to fostering the relationships between academia and industry, agencies, business, and overall society. The vision of the Alliance is to be a catalyst for a sustainable future in terms of regional development, economy, society, and the environment to enhance our local and regional connectedness, develop a community of practice, and widen our impact across Europe and, of course, the entire world. Our values are supporting inclusive and diverse academic and non-academic communities to become a university without walls or borders, accessible to all. Also is to strengthen mobility, to allow our students and staff to interact with each other and other cultures and languages. Of course, that promotes diversity, inclusion, and acceptance, that are also focusing on quality, inclusion, and respect of democratic practice and academic freedom, and cooperating and co-creating knowledge across different European countries. So some EU Green objectives. I can see one of them is strengthening the commitment of our universities to their missions and values, emphasizing the social impact, innovation, and sustainability, addressing sustainability from a quadruple helix perspective, as I said, economic, society, culture, and environment. By delivering shared inter-university and interdisciplinary curricula, research, innovation, and engagement programs, enriching our research and enhancing our impact by being more responsible to societal needs, identifying societal challenges to be solved. Interactions with stakeholders is also important to be involved and valued in a co-creative process. Also enriching our student, staff, and alumni experience of internationalization and enhancing their skills to development, and tapping the experience and expertise of organizations in societies to help us to understand the issues we are studying. This is our work plan. As can you see, we have 9 work package. We are in the work package 5. As can you see, the work package 1 is innovative management coordination of the project. The 2 deals with education. The 3 deals with research. 4 deals with innovation and entrepreneurship. The 5 deals with engagement. The 6 deals with mobility and internationalization. The work package 7 deals with the access, diversity, and inclusion. The 8 is about campus life, and the 9 is related to communication, dissemination, and impact. So, considering the work package 5, where who we are, this work package 5 is related to engagement for sustainable societies and economies. This work package stands at the interface between universities and external partners, local governments, communities, schools, individual citizens, and so on. And another aspect is the cooperation between different work package within the EU Green, particularly work package 2, 3, and 4. This is our objectives, is to create collaboration networks between EU Green and external stakeholders, foster sustainability through development of challenges, supporting individual stakeholders in pursuing options for addressing SDGs, promote programs, actions, challenges with and for the civil society, and of course collaborating funding for projects that can involve stakeholders, and of course also align with local, regional, national policies and university sustainability strategies. So I don't know if Francis, which is in charge of this work package, if you want to say additional words, Francis.
Just a few. Thank you all for coming today, people from inside and outside the Alliance. We work on engagement. We really want to promote engagement, and within the next 6 months, we'll have a new platform where you can virtually engage with us, connect with us is the word I want to say, because we really want to start listening and focusing on some of the challenges that you can present to us in EU Green, because we really want to develop and sustain our regions. So yes, delighted to be here today, and Paolo and Co have put together a very good webinar with presentations from across the Alliance. So I won't hold you up any longer because I know we have presentations, but lovely to see everybody, and from Margaret and myself and the team, to see everybody here today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so on behalf of this Highlands and aligned with its objectives, I'm pleased to welcome you again to this webinar, whose main goal is driving sustainability through food and conscious consumptions. This event is evidence of our shared commitment to build a sustainable future that aligns with the principles of the European Green Deal and the Farm to Fork strategy. This strategy deals with sustainable food production, sustainable food processing and distribution, sustainable food consumption, and food loss and waste prevention, aiming to make a food system fair, healthy, and environmentally friendly. So throughout this webinar, we'll explore topics that are at the very heart of sustainability regarding this issue, the transformative power of conscious consumption in shaping sustainable habits and lifestyles, practical steps to encourage healthier and more sustainable eating, particularly within university settings, innovative solutions for food systems that are socially responsible and environmentally friendly, the potential of agroecology as a framework for research and real-world impact, and the challenges and opportunities in developing sustainable food products and practices. So we'll hear speakers from 5 countries representing institutions leading the way in the research, education, and innovation in sustainability regarding the topic we are addressing today. So at the end of the webinar, we'll also have time for a debate about the role of the EU Green can play in sharing the future, in shaping the future and of a sustainable food system. So thank you for being here, and let us make this productive and inspiring morning. So I'm pleased to invite our first speaker to begin the program. Is Professor Maria Raquel Lucas, is my colleague from the University of Évora in Portugal, and she will explore the relationships between food choices and sustainability, exploring their environmental, social, and health impacts. the title of our presentation gives to this webinar is its name is Food and Conscious Consumption. Okay, Raquel, can you please present yourself before you start?
Okay, thank you very much for good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for the invitation to participate in this webinar and to share with you some of my work and the work with my students. Okay, I am an engineer with a background in the engineer, but I have a master in agriculture marketing and a PhD in management. And my special field is related with consumer behavior and consumption, responsible consumption, and everything related with consumption and with agriculture marketing or agri-food marketing connected with agriculture products and food products. So today we are delving into the significance of food conscious consumption and its role in shaping a sustainable future. From mindful eating habits to the factors driving consumer choice, such as healthy trends, such environmental concerns, personal values, and social influences, our focus today also will be in the practical strategies for making more informed and responsible food decisions. We are thinking about addressing conscious consumption requires an holistic perspective, which involves evaluating food systems from production and package to transportation and waste management, including distribution and commercialization and everything related to the market as well. This also entails making mindful eating choices and understand the environmental and ethical impacts of food decisions, prioritizing nutrition and health-conscious options, and supporting sustainable food sources and production methods. That's why when we're thinking about food production, food production is one of the largest contributors to environmental challenge related with from greenhouse gas emissions and water consumption to soil or land degradations and biodiversity loss. Our current food system has a significantly impact on the planet. So conscious consumption is a key to mitigating these effects. And by choosing how to mitigate it, by choosing low impact foods, by reducing meat consumption and minimizing food waste, we can significantly lower our carbon footprint. Small changes like meal planning, like using leftovers creatively, like prioritizing plant-based options can have a profound impact on all this. Also, buying locally, to supporting local and seasonal food. Buying local and seasonally benefits the environment of the local economies, of farmers markets, community-supported agriculture programs, and seasonal produce reduce transportation emissions while providing fresh and nutrient-dense options. Other benefits are related with to choose a plant-based diet, like we have in our Mediterranean diet. Plant-based diets like ours, the Mediterranean one, not only promote health and have health benefits with lower risk of heart disease, improve the digestion and balanced nutrient intake, but also to have a less environmental impact, reducing greenhouse gas emissions, lower water usage, and decrease land degradations. So all these kind of diets promote health, but also have a lower environmental impact. In the case of Mediterranean diet, which the basis is vegetables and olive oil, this kind of diet minimize animal products, animal foods, offering cardiovascular and general health benefits. And also, but there is a small problem, or there is a big issue related with that the adherence of this diet is declining, even in Mediterranean countries. We have here an example in the recent research related with carbon dioxide and the adherence to Mediterranean in the adult population, and especially in adults. Only in Portugal, only 26% are connected with this kind of diet, and people in all the countries, especially in the Mediterranean countries, is changing their consumption habits and their food choice, and they are to change this kind of Mediterranean diet or foods, and trying to have other options with less health and with higher impact in the environment. Here we have a double pyramid of the Barilla Foundation that shows that Mediterranean diet base is what has the least impact on the environment. So this kind of food basis on the Mediterranean diet has a less impact on the environment, and this is implied. This is related with the minimize food waste as well. So because we have this behavior towards minimizing food waste, we are contributing as a vital strategy to the sustainability, planning meals, storing food properly, using the leftovers, and composting are simple but impactful practice. Together, they help reduce unnecessary waste and contribute to environmental conservation. Other practice that we can introduce in our behavior, with daily behavior, is related with the sustainable package and trying to have a zero waste shopping. It's difficult to have a zero waste shopping, but this is another critical step in reducing packaging waste, using reusable containers, option for recyclable or compostable packaging, and buying in bulk can help transition to zero waste shopping practice. Educating yourselves or ourselves and educating others to have a different attitude, to change their mind, to change their mentality, and to change their behavior is another important issue. Education is the cornerstone of behavior change. So by informing ourselves, yourselves, and the others about the impact of our food choice, we can create a ripple effect. We can engage in community initiatives and supporting policies for sustainable food system, and this is our essential for the long term change in our behavior and habits. A systematic change through advocacy. Individual actions must be complemented by systematic change, supporting local initiatives and international initiatives, all the initiatives towards a more sustainable level. and advocating for policies promoting sustainability and collaborating with stakeholders can drive significant progress towards more conscious food systems. Also, the rise of health conscious consumers awareness is growing, of course, with increasing interest in functional foods, plant-based diets, and clean label products or eco-label products. This shift is influenced by a desire for better health and transparency in food production and food value and food chains. Environmental concerns and environmental concerns and sustainable food choice are connected with a big proportion or increasing big proportion of consumers. Consumers' decisions can counteract the negative impacts of food productions by reducing food waste, by choosing local sources for products, and supporting sustainable farming practice. We contribute to a healthier planet and a healthier environment. But there are differences in consumers' choices. There are differences in consumer habits. There are differences in consumer behavior related with the different variables, and that not only internal variables of consumer, but also external variables of consumer influence their choice and their making decisions about related with food. We are talking about demographic factors, but not only demographic factors, because we have also social factors that influencing food consumption. But age, income, education, and locations play significant roles in shaping food choices. Millennials and Gen Z lead the demand for ethical and sustainable options, while higher education and income levels correlate with more informed decision making. Also, the role of personal values and beliefs are very important. We are thinking about personal values that including health priorities, environmental consciousness, and cultural preferences, as we have related with the Mediterranean diet, despite it is decreasing, heavily influence food choices. Emphasizing these values can encourage consumers to align their habits with their beliefs. Other issues is related with the social influence of relatives, of families, of friends, of the impact of different groups that can influence it years. We are talking about the peer recommendations like friends and family, and the different social media trends like Instagram, but not only, but all the networking, the social networking and their influences, especially in the more young consumers, and also celebrity diets or influencer diets that are related with this social media. The peer recommendations and the celebrity endorsements significantly impact food trends, and leveraging channels can promote healthier and more sustainable food choices. Of course, there is other issues related with food choice, and it's not possible to talk about all the factors here, but I try to summarize some ones. And one other important is the significance of food labeling information. And clear and transparent food labeling helps consumers make informed or more responsible and informed decisions. Nutritional facts, ingredients lists, certification logos, and origin information all play a crucial roles in guiding ethical and healthy conscious purchases and decisions. The strategies for promoting food conscious consumptions requires not only one way, but a multi-faced approach or multidisciplinary approaches, because we need educational campaigns, we need technologically driving solutions like user-friendly apps, and to emphasize product labeling can empower consumers to make better choice. But there is a problem, because some of our consumers, according my research and different research results, more than enough percent of the consumers only read or only catch very, very few information about the labels. The people doesn't read properly the information regarding the logos and the information about the food labeling. But these kind of education programs and develop user-friendly apps and support communities initiatives should be an important way to induce consumers to make better and more responsible choice. The Mediterranean diet, known for its health and the environmental benefits, faces both drivers. In this slide, I have the drivers and some barriers to its adoptions. While sensory appeal and cultural identity and the awareness of its benefits drive adherence, there are other factors like high costs, lack of knowledge about the diet and about its constituents and attributes, and accessibility that present challenge and barriers to its address. Addressing these barriers, it is crucial for wider acceptance and to have more people to adhere to this kind of health diet. Recent research in Europe, the research survey, show us in terms of results some insights and barriers to change. This is an online survey in Germany, France, Italy, Romania, and Sweden, and representing different regions in Europe. The quota sampling for age, gender, and region was based on NUTS-1 regions and achieve higher representativeness. The data was collected in the beginnings of this year, and about 500 respondents per country. And the results related with this kind of course, it's not possible to show all the results, but related with the level of motivation for sustainable food consumption, there is a relative homogeneous answer, not only, but the assumption, the survey revealed how motivation for sustainable consumption, but related with environmental friendly issues, climate friendly, and animal wellness, but also it identify barriers such as high costs, limited availability, and time constraints, and the consumers, the people the respondents, the participants, thinking that the responsibility to have more or to improve the level of sustainability is regarding not only consumers, not retailers or distributors or shop owners, not only farmers, not only policy makers, but to all of us. So the consumers play an important role when it comes to sustainability regarding the environment, climate, and animal welfare in food systems, in particular according to the opinion who will take the responsibility. But of course, there are some barriers to food consumption. Still have this kind of barriers, and some of them that we found in our research are related with high costs, because organic and sustainable options often come with premium prices, not all the times, but very often, because the limited availability, certain regions lack access to diverse, conscious food choices, because with time constraints, busy lifestyles can hinder preparation and and conflicting information. So these insights highlight the need for collaborative efforts to overcome this challenge. In terms of conclusions, I can say that food conscious consumption is more than a personal choice, more than a consumer choice. It is a collective responsibility. By making mindful decisions, supporting systematic changes, and educating ourselves and others, we can create a more sustainable and equitable food system for future generations. But it takes time. It must be step by step. Thank you very much.
Spune câte unul.
Doi. Aș avea o oră cu CEPA 2.
Okay, thank
Și
you.
ați face acum cu ei.
Someone is the micro
La
on.
testare.
Someone is micro on. Okay. Okay, thank you, Maria, for this talk. So we have time for 2 questions. I don't know. I have here. If you want, you can use the Q&A to put questions. I have Miguel. I don't know if Miguel wants to speak. The hand is raised. Miguel?
Maybe he has it up by accident.
Probably,
Been up
I
for
don't
the
know.
last half an hour, I think.
Okay. As anyone wants to put a question to Maria?
Or to make a comment or something
or
like
a comment.
Something.
Okay. Please remember that we'll have a debate at the end of the webinar. So some questions could be explored further and deeper at this point. So
yes, Paul, I can wait. I can wait.
Okay. We have Isune. Let me see. Okay. Yes, Yune? You are able to speak?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know how can I fix the camera of mine.
So that's no problem.
Anyways, thank you, Maria, for your nice presentation. I'm pleased to hear about this, sustainable, conscious food consumption in here developing nations. By the way, I'm from Ethiopia, PhD student here in Spain at the University of Extremadura.
Okay.
having said, we, people from the developing nations are thinking about food security and food sustainability.
Mhm.
Here you are thinking about, conscious food consumption. As I understood it, you are not feeding your belly, your body, but also the mind as well. You are taking care of the environment. Uh, how can we, I need your suggestion to bridge the gap between the developed nations and the developing nations in terms of, this food gap. A lot of people are dying of hunger in my country, for instance, right now. So what do you suggest? Thank you.
Okay, this is a very good, very good questions. Yes, we are talking about different perspectives, but not so different, because I have I have a big experience in countries like yours, in with different education programs, and also with the different research projects. And I have some students from African countries that are working with sustainability systems or sustainability food production value chains related to but related as well with food security, because we need to feed people, we need to have enough food, but also but also have safety food, of course. And this possible in this kind of countries with some improvements in technology, and to have different to have some changes in production system. Is possible to connect to have both, to have production with what is the main problem. It's the productivity that is a lower productivity in this kind of systems, and this is the waste of food in several cases, because the collection, and because the some of the different phases between the production to the consumers, to the markets, are not well organized, and the food are not well, the transportation is not good, and there is no conservation systems for this kind of food, and so the waste of food is a big amount of this problem. So in my experience, it's possible to have to adopt new technologies that improve food production or the agriculture production, even in case of base products like rice, and I'm talking about East Timor, for instance, in Asia as well, improving the production of rice, and also to have better choice, and to educate people to have better choice related to the food choice, to have more health combination of diets. It's possible to do that, but it is this is two plates of the same topic, because we in some countries in the Occident and the developed countries, we have a problem with the waste of food, and sometimes we not have healthy choices, and sometimes we did it because we have too much food, and we have too much brand foods, and we are stimulated by marketing stimuli and so on, and we have this problem. And in other countries and other regions, we have the people dying with no food, and need to ensure the minimal level of food to this region. So it is not easy, but I think it is possible. And in some of my research, it's possible to have some of balanced system production to increasing productivity with no soil degradation or not water waste. It's possible to do that, and to have concerns, and to have increased food production, and to have healthy choices. But of course, and some of these systems, we are talking about organic systems, but we are talking as well in fair trade distribution and marketing channels. I don't know if I answer.
Okay, thank you, Maria. Let's move on. Adrian?
Okay, just a short comment. Because most of the time the advertising is exceeding the reasonable information, let's say, about food stuff. I think that promoting the European Commission website where the traditional products or local products are listed and presented very honestly and very fair is one step to provide conscious food consumption. The addressability is very huge. Actually, it's about 3 or 4 billions due to the languages used, but the website is quite unknown in large public. So I think this is an option, a very good one, that promote local circular economy and local food stuff.
I agree. Yeah, totally agree.
Okay, thank you Maria again, and thank you for the questions and comments. So let's move to the second speaker. Is Dr. Beatrice Biasini, assistant professor in human nutrition at the University of Parma in Italy, and she will share, I think, inspiring interventions to promote healthier and more sustainable eating habits among university students. The title of her presentation is Promoting Health and Sustainable Eating in University Students, 2 case studies. So, Beatrice, thank you for joining us, and can you please present yourself before you start? Thank you.
So good morning, everyone. I'm Beatrice Biasini. I'm a researcher at the University of Parma. I work at the Human Nutrition Unit at the Department of Food and Drug. So my research activities are related mostly on the promotion of food choices that could be both healthy and sustainable. And basically today I'm going to present the activities that we are carrying out in our department within our research group for the promotion of healthy and sustainable healthy eating habits among university students. And in particular, I will show 2 case studies that we are carrying out. The activities, sorry, my screen doesn't work. You can see just the first slide, I think.
No, you only see the first slide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't go on. I don't know why.
You have sent the presentation for me? No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I sent the presentation, but maybe I don't know if can I maybe just yes, I don't know if it is very good, but I can maybe just show the PDF, the PPT, not going on the whole screen. Maybe
Yeah.
it would be an option, if you agree.
I have the PDF.
Okay.
I have the PDF. I don't know.
That looks fine though as well, if
Yeah.
you want to proceed with that. It looks okay.
Yeah.
Looks like this? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I can go.
Okay.
Thank
That's
you.
good. That's good.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. So I'm sorry. So our activities are carried out within On Foods, which is a partnership for the sustainable development of food and nutrition. It is a foundation that brings together different academias, other research entities, and also some industries. So more specifically, we are involved in the spoke number 7, which refers to the policy, behavior, and education, with a particular reference to two work packages that are related to the understanding of determinants and factors related to consumer behavior and the development of ICT and educational tools for promoting healthier and more sustainable diets. Our activities are based on the best practices for making the university campus a supporting environment for healthy and sustainable diets that were outlined during a workshop that we organized 2 years ago at the University of Parma that was aimed to highlight the interventions able to promote the implementation of a healthy and sustainable policy in relation to the university canteen. So we identified different and multiple best practices, from the need to create a supportive environment able to provide sustainable menus, to the need of applying a multidisciplinary approach and involving different stakeholders if we want to have effective changes. So this is the roadmap of our activities. We will try to address the best practices I mentioned previously, and for all our activities we try to involve different stakeholders. So, for example, other partners from the academia, from other Italian university, but also other entities such as ERGO, which is the regional authority for the right to higher education, and also the catering service, which is active within our university and other universities within our region, Emilia-Romagna region. So basically, we started our journey and we took the first step involving students. So basically, we asked them to provide their suggestions and their need about how it would be possible to promote and to improve the university food services and the related spaces. So basically, we ask them to provide their messages on posters showing the canteen environment and also the vending machines and the related areas. So this activity was quite successful, as we collected about 600 messages on them. So they are equally distributed to the food offer compared to those more related to the canteen environment. So in the first case, we found a high agreement in the need of increasing the food variety, with a particular reference to vegetarian and vegan options, and also in consideration of food options that could be suitable for people having food intolerance or food allergies. While we found most students claimed a reduction of prices and also a better canteen management for reducing waiting times. So we also supported the activity of ERGO, which is the regional authority for the right of higher education. So basically in Parma and in other universities, for other universities within our Emilia-Romagna region, it stipulates the contracts between the university and the catering services. So basically we try to support its activity in drafting contract tenders with the specification that has this important role, this important aim, which is trying to provide healthier, more environmentally sustainable and also affordable menus, considering the need to create an inclusive canteen environment. So our proposals were submitted to ERGO with the final aim to trying to optimize the canteen menus, both considering the nutritional profile of the dishes offered, the sustainability impact, both in terms of affordability and environmental impact. So we base our work actually on the health eating plate provided by the Harvard University. This was one of our activities I'm going to present. The second one is the administration of an online survey, which is based on a psychosocial model. This was addressed to students, university students at the University of Parma and the University of Bologna, which is a collaborator for different studies I'm going to talk about. Thanks to this survey, we were able to identify some dietary habits of the students and also to understand their adherence to healthy and sustainable diets, and also trying to investigate which could be the potential factors related to their dietary patterns. So thanks to our results, so the results we obtained, actually we were able to identify two clusters of students. So one is the healthy cluster and the other one is the non-healthy cluster. So basically we identified subjects adopting healthier food choices and those having worse dietary habits. And we were able also to identify which kind of variable increase the probability of falling in the healthy cluster and those ones that increase the probability of falling in the non-healthy cluster. And in the first case, we obtained different variable being significantly involved. For example, the responsibility in food purchases, trying to avoid the consumption of unsustainable food and also spending more time compared to the others to look for sustainable food, and also knowing how to plan meals. And this was a very, very important aspect that we consider in our further activities, while we found that, for example, gender, so being a male, and also a weight excess during childhood were instead associated more to the non-healthy cluster. We organized and started an intervention study. So this is one of the two case studies that I'm going to present more in detail. Actually, we wanted to apply some nudging techniques in a university canteen in Parma for the promotion of healthy and sustainable food choices. And so basically, after a baseline phase, we are carrying out the intervention phase in which we are collecting sales data, and also we are quantifying food waste during the canteen. So basically, so I talked about nudging techniques, which is what is a nudge? A nudge is a tool that is able to modify the choice environment in a predictable way. So we don't want to eliminate any option or provide economic incentives, but we can, applying some strategies, we can nudge, so shifting gently the behavior of people in a desired direction. We can have different kind of nudges, some that can increase the knowledge of consumers, some others that can modify how they feel, or others that are more related to a change in the behavior. So for example, if we change the default options or if we change the portion size and the canteen environment, this is of course a more direct action for the change in the behavior. So basically, in the baseline phase, we try to analyze food consumption, and we did a reprogramming of the cash register software. In that case, we were able to identify the sales considering each cost typology. And we also evaluate the nutritional profile and the environmental impact of the dishes offered by the canteen. And based on this analysis, we were able to identify some healthy and sustainable dishes and some other not. Again, always in the baseline phase, we quantified plate waste, and these activities were replicated during the intervention phase. And as the nudging tools that we applied, here you can see some examples. We used some logos, one logo, which is the Healthy and Sustainable Dish logo identifying healthy and sustainable dishes, and that was placed near the healthy and sustainable offers. We also applied a reordering of the dishes in the menu, so placing at first those being healthy and sustainable for each course of the meal, so the first course, the second course, and the side dish. We also applied some educational posters on the canteen environment, inspired to the health eating plate, as I mentioned before, provided by Harvard University, as we wanted to actually drive the students in how to compose a balanced, healthy and balanced meal for their lunch. And these are other examples of posters that are available now at the canteen. So the aim, of course, is the promotion of the food literacy among university students. While here, now I'm going to present the second intervention study that was actually related to the development of an educational mobile app. The aim of the project was to enhance healthy and sustainable eating habits and food literacy among Parma University students, and also more specifically trying to increase the variety of consumption of different food groups with a specific focus on plant-based protein sources. So we wanted actually to increase the fiber intake of students. So basically, we need to enroll 60 students, and they will be grouped will be placed in two groups. And so we will collect some anthropometric data, some information about dietary habits and general lifestyle information of our students. But only in the intervention group, we will apply an education, a mobile application, which is called Uniplate. So we developed this kind of application to facilitate the adoption of healthy and sustainable dietary patterns among university students. This Uniplate app is composed by 5 sections. So we have the home, the eat, buy, cook, and learn section. I'm going to briefly explain a little bit of this section. So from the home section, the students can access some educational tips about nutrition and also food sustainability. It can also monitor the intake of specific food groups, for example, fruit and vegetables or whole grains food or food products, to understand if it is on the road to achieve some food and nutritional goals. We have also the second section, which is the eat section, which allows students and help students in planning the weekly menus in consideration of the specifically lunch and dinner, considering the recommended alternance of protein-based foods as indicated by the Italian dietary guidelines. There is also the possibility to select different recipes. So we have a cookbook there is a section in the application dedicated to a selection of recipes that are both nutritionally balanced and also environmentally sustainable. And the students can change the selection of the recipes that can be offered and can be available on the app. From the buy section, there is the formulation of a shopping list, which is generated based on the recipes selected in the previous section. And there is also some suggestions about the app in consideration of the seasonal fruit and vegetables that are available. And also we have the Learn section. So basically this is a section more dedicated to the education of the student, trying to provide some educational contents about food and nutrition, food sustainability, and this quite interactive section. And also this another idea that we had, trying to increase the engagement of the students in actually using constantly the app, was to provide some badges that can be achieved during the week, again to increase the engagement from the students. So basically this is just a starting point for us, as we would like to increasing the functionalities of the app in the next future. So as the goal is trying to create a digital space for students, not only considering the dietary habits of students, but also considering the entire lifestyle and also the services that the city can offer, for example, sports centers or supermarkets or transport. So we would like to create again, we would like to facilitate the adoption from the students of more healthy and sustainable habits. So thank you very much. I thank you for the attention, and also thanks also to my research group.
Okay, thank you, Beatrice. So, any comments or questions? Adrian?
Okay, thank you very much. It's a presentation that show us the future of the food consumption. Basically, the electronic platforms are allowing us to have the access to all the relevant information of the foodstuff, because I mentioned in my presentation the labels are, well, unreadable most of the time. So this kind of app can be the key for conscious consumption.
Yes, thank you. I think it is true. Basically, it is important when we consider the possibility to have access to the app. Actually, which is the sources used basically to provide information. So this could be like a discriminant in choosing a better or worse application. So we should know which is the basis of the information provided through the app. So
even carbon or water footprint.
Yes, also. Yes.
Yes.
Also.
Okay.
Beatrice,
the app was developed inside the university, or you have support of some kind of external stakeholder to develop the app?
So we developed the app within our research group, actually, and thanks to the financial support of On Foods, which is again the partnership that I mentioned at the beginning of our project, of my presentation, and of course the possibility to have to include in our project, in our research activity, also some professional figures that have some expertise in communication, for example, because of course we are nutritionists in our team, but of course we need also some other skills when it comes to work on this platform. So we have this kind of collaborations with the communication team, for example, that help us in again, trying to choose also the words that should be provided to the students. I didn't mention before, but we also make some specialization of our messages considering the psychological profile of the user, for example. So based on its interest, we try to address our messages in different ways, trying to increase the engagement of the students.
Okay, thank you. So, Yasune, a short question, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Beatrice, for your marvelous presentation. I have one clarity information related question and one related to your research. The information I want to seek from you is that which foodstuffs are unsustainable food? Can we say all animal origin are unsustainable foodstuffs? Unsustainable food? This is the question which I seek information, and then your research. Are they, this target group, the students, are they from the same department or from different disciplines? If they are from different disciplines, which ones are, those identified as learning fast compared to the others?
Okay, so I don't have this question because now we are during the recruitment, in the recruitment phase of students. So I mentioned the intervention study in relation to the application. So we are recruiting students. We can't recruit people, subjects from our department. So our department of food and drug is not involved. So we have other departments, for example, economic sciences or engineering, literature. So we don't have any students from our courses actually. And the message that we would like to share is not that is not restrictive. Actually, you can have a sustainable diet, like could be, for example, as mentioned before, the Mediterranean diet, which is a sustainable, healthy and sustainable diet. It is an omnivorous diet. So basically, we should not maybe say that there are some foods that should not at all be consumed because maybe it would be maybe this could be not the first option to have the nudging that we would like to obtain. So because we want to shift gently the behavior of the people that we are involving, considering the possibility to have an omnivorous diet, so without excluding any foods, but considering some important aspects that are the frequency of consumption of animal-based foods, and of course the quantity that so the food portion that we eat. So this should be the main message that we would like to convey in our intervention study.
Okay, thank you. Raquel?
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. Because we are in an alliance, in a Ugreen alliance, and then with this network, I'm wondering to thinking about what you think about replicate your study in our countries with our students.
It would be a possibility in the future because again, we just started this project, so this intervention study, to understand if the app is usable.
Work, yeah.
Yes, because we have a small number of students that is involved, but it is a first step that we want to take to trying to promote our
because to educate people and to inform people, especially young people that are actually and future consumers or more heavy consumers. It's very important issues in my opinion. Thank you.
It would be a very good idea in the future to do this.
I think it could be a good challenge for our entire Hill Green to promote this at our canteens. It will be great, I think. So let's move on. Thank you, Beatriz. So let's move on for the third speaker is Maria Ramos Garcia from CCTEX. This is associate partner of University of Extremadura in Spain. And she will showcase two remarkable initiatives in agroecology and advocacy for sustainable food systems. So the title of the presentation is Action for Sustainable Food Production through Agroecology, Examples at National and European Level. So Maria, thank you for joining us, and can you please present yourself before you start? Thank you.
Thank you, Paulo. It's a very pleasure to be here, and thank you so much for the invitation. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the previous speakers, because I think we are very aligned in which we are working on, and we can replicate many of these initiatives in many places. Well, my background is in agroecology and biodiversity. I'm agronomist at CCTEX, and I work in the north of the Extremadura region with mountain systems and fruit systems mainly, under an agroecological approach and management. Well, I'd like to present here two case studies or two initiatives in which CCTEX is involved under the agroecology approach. One of these is from the national perspective, and the other one is a project at European level. I think I'm going to share my presentation in this mode, because the other I have some problems to use the presentation mode. So let's take. Are you seeing my screen? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's working. Perfect. Well, the first initiative is this think tank. It's called Alimenta. This is an expert group composed of different scientists and researchers coming from universities and public centers all around Spain. And we are working in a multidisciplinary way, trying to assess the impacts and the sustainability of the different food systems in Spain at national level. And we work in four working groups focused on agroecosystems and food chains and all issues related to environmental and climate change connection between food systems and climate change connections. Also in fisheries and marine systems, because fish is also part of our diet. We have another group working on public policies, and the last one in nutrition and health. We have in our team some doctors and nutritionists, assessing this part in order to achieve more sustainable diets, and to recovering the Mediterranean diet as one of the good examples of a sustainable diet. Alimenta is composed of 10 founding members, but we have more than 45 collaborators within these groups, and also a community of practice of more than 200 entities, NGOs, policymakers, industries, and so on. And we work together with them to make decisions and to collaborate in our activities. Alimenta is focused on supporting the agroecological transition at local and regional level, and influencing national and European policies. So we have three main fields of action. The first one is provide and create scientific knowledge. It means providing reports and papers. but also we are engaged in different projects and stakeholders mobilization initiatives through living labs or through ALAS. ALAS is how we call the agroecological local-based agroecosystems. It means building new local sustainable systems under short chains and short channels on local-based channels. And finally, we have advocacy and lobbying initiatives because we have a very strong communication team. And well, you can check our activities in our website and see what we are doing. Just to give you some examples about what we are doing in Alimenta, this is one of the latest papers about the reconstructing or defining the different supply chains of the Spanish tomato, characterizing the production places, but also the transformation places and the recirculation of this food across the country, and also assessing the environmental impact of this different chain into the environment and the well, the impacts in the climate change. No? We have also all the colleagues working in diets, in sustainable diets, as already mentioned. For instance, in reshaping the nutritional profile of the Spanish population and assessing the sustainability of these diets from the environmental point of view, but also from the nutritional point of view, and recommending some changes towards a more healthy or healthier or sustainable diets. Well, as I previously mentioned, we have some projects about fostering the agroecological local agri-food system with all the stakeholders we are working with, and these initiatives are especially under the more territorialized sustainable food system approach, and well, we are trying to provide some solutions for the main challenges that we have identified, like these very local and small initiatives in the territories have many problems to survive in the long time because they are fragmented. They have a lack of connection between them. They have a lack of professionalization. There are some regulations or political issues that are well, avoiding the upscaling and the outscaling of these initiatives. This is another example of agroecological living lab fostering from Alimenta about the promotion, the use of local and autochthonous varieties of wheat, and building the value chain of the using of these wheats with the different stakeholders in the Andalusian region in the south of Spain. And this living lab has engaged many stakeholders from farmers to eco mills, bakeries, local retailers, and so on, until consumers, and they are providing well, sustainable and organic products, pasta and bread, coming from these local varieties that has also many benefits, environmental, but also nutritional, cultural, and economic benefits that are being promoted by this project, by this living lab. And Alimenta has have a role in, well, identification of challenges and providing the enablers, but the work has been done in a very collaborative way with all the stakeholders engaged in this living lab. Another example of our projects is the engagement in the establishment of biodistricts in the Andalusian region. This is a very big project. This is, well, under construction. It has a roadmap of 5 steps from the consolidation and the identification of the main stakeholders to be engaged until the territorial dynamization of different initiatives, engaging also municipalities, providing facilities to create a network of markets and local production and consumption initiatives of organic or agroecological products, and the creation of a network in the Andalusian regions. There are too many challenges already to overcome, like administrative blockages resulting from the intergovernmental interaction, and the main challenge is to achieve the connection between the different level of institutions at the municipality level, regional level, and also some help from the national level to, for instance, to develop some regulations about the public purchase of organic products that will be fostering through this biodiesel. Well, and finally, Alimenta has developed a policy advocacy strategy, and for this next year, for 2025, we have had some discussions among this community of practice, among these entities, to identify 3 main topics in which we will be working for the next 3-5 years. The first one is about the legumes and the growing of Mediterranean legumes, not only because of its environmental benefits in soil and in climate change, but also to match the internal demand for the new sustainable diets or more Mediterranean diets, and also to provide feeding stuff for livestock instead of importing so much soya, which, as you know, it has a very, very important environmental impact because of transportation or climate change, and also because of deforestation of the third countries where soya is grown. The second topic for the strategy is enhancing the local and artisanal fishing, the national fishing in our coast, because it has a very low environmental impact, but it has also very important in a social point of view, because well, the artisanal, the local fishing is an activity developed by family holdings, and it has the same problems than farming, with the generational renewal or profitability issues. And the third topic for the advocacy strategy is the consumption of healthy and more agroecological based food, fostering more sustainable diet, reducing the meat portion, and fostering more plant-based and more organic or agroecological products. So this is more or less the action field of this think tank in which TIFITEX is working. And the other example I'd like to present you is this partnership, the agroecology partnership, Probably many of you already know it, is well, it's a partnership funded under the Horizon Europe initiative. You can consult in this website all the activities that we are doing. This partnership is mainly focused on the accelerating the farming system transitions in Europe through the agroecological living labs and research infrastructures. It is composed of 72 partners from 26 countries. This is a very big project. And the main goals is, well, support the research and innovation in agroecology through living labs, using different tools. The first one is providing information and services and resources about methodologies in agroecological practices, but also in participatory research, methodologies and participatory research, on how to engage different actors in the co-creation processes in this participatory research, and so on. Another important part of this association is to fund through different calls, fund projects on agroecology developed by living labs and research infrastructures. And the last one is to create a network, and a European network of agroecological living labs and research infrastructures. Well, the main principles inspiring this partnership is the agroecology principles proposed by the high-level panel of experts on food security from FAO. It's more or less a consensus about how or what is agroecology, what agroecology means. These principles, half of them are focused on the agroecosystem and how to manage the agroecosystem in a more sustainable way, talking about recycling, input reduction, soil health, animal health, biodiversity, synergies between livestock and crop production in mixed system, diversification, rotations, and so on. But the other principles address the whole food system, the entire food system, to be consistent under the agroecological approach. And they address the social values, and we talk about diets and sustainable diets, but also about fairness and work rights and gender dimension, about a more participatory way in the co-creation of knowledge, and about engagement and connectivity among policymakers, producers, industries, consumers, and so on. And also having landscape vision, territorial vision, when we are proposing more sustainable practices at the farm level. So we have to connect the farm level to the environment, to the landscape level, because it's much more environmental friendly. So these are the principles inspiring the strategy, the SRIA, the Strategic Research and Innovation Agenda for agroecology, who is being fostered by the partnership. In December, the second call for the agroecological project will be launched. There is now a pre-announcement. You can consult it in the website. And this call will fund projects about living labs fostering agroecology. There will be two topics. The first one is more related to the farm level, to determine, assess the benefits and the trade-offs of agroecology, and to identify the best practices at farm level. And the second one is more related to the value chain and the political recommendations and business models at value chain level. Finally, the European Network of Agroecological Living Labs and Research Infrastructure is already running from this year. The first cohort of living labs, agroecological living labs, is composed of 17, I think, 17 living labs, but there will be a first wave of application to enlarge this network, and this application will be open on 9 December. And I encourage, if you know living labs or initiatives, participatory initiatives that are working on agroecology, to be part of this European network, because it will be some benefits to be a member of this network. For instance, in the knowledge exchange and information and data sharing, the networking, to have the possibility to increase the cooperation and develop international or transnational research projects, and also taking part in workshops and other co-creation initiatives. And more or less, that's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Maria, for this presentation. Great. It's now we have time to questions, comments.
No comments. All is clear.
Okay, probably it's time to create a forum or some kind of network with within the EU Green about this kind of stuff of issues. So I think internally, I think you can think about it because I think it is important to create this kind of network within the EU Green Alliance. So you have Extremadura and other countries have so much so much connectings, so we can enlarge this within the EU Green. So I think it is important to do that. This is my comment. So.
Yes, I totally agree. And I think especially Mediterranean countries, we share a lot of, cross-cutting challenges about diets and environments and agroecosystems, and we have a lot of connections. And as we have seen in the previous presentations, we have many synergies to foster in these more sustainable systems in a broad way. So let's keep in touch and collaborate.
Okay, thank you. Francisco?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, congrats, Maria, for your presentation, your clear presentation. I would like to ask to you some question. No? For us, it's really relevant the connection with the stakeholders, having a multidisciplinarity and what we do. No, regarding this, no, I think Alimenta is a good example to continue to be monitored by the Green Alliance or the partners. No, I would like firstly to ask you about how Alimenta was created. No, and the second question would be now. No, more or less you have mentioned, but to get into the details. No, the relationship between the entire scientifics you are as well in the research centers as well in the universities in order to connect with the stakeholders, with the relation, with the agricultures. How do you do? No, how do you do? Have you got more people who working for Alimenta? It's done by all of you. This relationship with the stakeholders that is really relevant in order to having a broader approach in your studies. No, how is implemented? No.
Well, it's not easy. We have many meetings, but well, Alimenta was created in the first place by a group of researchers coming from the Seville University. Well, the president of Alimenta comes from Pablo de Olavide University in Seville, in Andalusia. And the first core group was composed only from 10 researchers, and they look for specialists with background in all the value chain steps from farm to fork, and well, specialists also in regulations, in policies, and climate change, and also in fishing. So they were contacting these researchers and create the first core group. And this, well, the succeed in this first group in Alimenta was that these researchers have a great background of contacts, stakeholders contacts, and scientific contacts that are now participating with us. So the first thing that Alimenta do was to define the strategy and to identify the main challenges of the Spanish food system. And then propose, an agenda, an index about the first activities that we have to do. And this was the German for the contact with the other stakeholders and the other entities, because we start working with very concrete activities, and the community has been enlarged along the activity of Alimenta, because we have been involved in particular and concrete projects, particular activities, and doing papers and recommendations. So we have take advantage of our background, our contact, and then the agenda and the strategy of Alimenta is the way in which we are contacting stakeholders for specific actions. So nowadays we are more than 200 entities engaged, and we are the other operational proposal is working under specialities on and different working groups that make work in a separate way, and it's much more easy to work.
Okay, thank you. Let's move on for the break. So we have time for a break, 15 minutes for a lovely and I hope sustainable coffee break. So, okay, 15 minutes. We come back at 11 in Portuguese time and 12 in CAT time. Okay. Okay. See you. Thank you, Maria, for your presentation.
Bye-bye.
Okay, good morning again for
Good
the
morning.
sections, for the chat section after the break. So the next speaker is Dr. Hadrian Timar from the University of Oradea in Romania. He'll present a comprehensive overview of sustainable solutions across the food system from farm to fork. The title of his presentation is Sustainable Food Consumptions, Issues and Possible Solutions from Farm to Fork in the View of Food System. So, Adrian, thank you for joining us. And also, as for the others, can you please present yourself before you start? Thank you.
Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm Adrian Timar from University of Oradea. Today, I will try to present some outlines about the sustainable food consumption issues and some possible solutions in the view of the supply chains from farm to fork. Okay, as any kind of reviews, I was make some researches, and of course, first of all, to be scientific based, I interrogate the databases from Web of Science. The results were very strange. For the exact keywords food conscious consumption, there were 1,466 results. Most of them in the field of food science and nutrition dietetics. Then another block of topics of researches in the field of economics, agriculture, and psychology. The rest were less important. Okay, I emphasize now that the terms are quite complementary. I interrogate the database from the point of view of food sustainable consumption, and the results were even more strange, just 18,000. For the beginning, I was not very aware about the meaning of these figures, so I try sustainable. That is basically the keyword that describe every sustainable approach in every kind of branches, and the results was quite impressive, almost 1 million results. Making the ratio, the results were quite modest for food topics. You see, less than 2% for sustainable food and under 0 from the food conscious consumption. That is not very promising. The meaning is a lack of research in the field. So I thought that it's just an issue from the research point of view. And then I try to see if there are real concerns in real life. So I access the recovery and resilience European plan. Quite impressive founds, more than 600 billions. But when I check more in deep, the results were also very strange. Not a single topic related with the food in a direct way. I tried to find in our concerns, in our authority concern and concerns about the food and the amounts of money available in resilience plan. There are also quite modest, just 4%. That means something is not very focused on the food, despite that foodstuff are one of the basic needs of the people. So in order to see the importance of the conscious and sustainable food consumption, I was trying to see the base of the food consumption. First of all, the supply chains, because nowadays most of the consumption is based on large food supply chains, most of them almost global. But in Europe especially, there are alternative systems of food distribution focused on locally produced and sold food that in last 2 decades emerged. The most important was in my research, the most important approach seems to be short food supply chains that represent an option for many communities. Of course, there are many supply chains models, from classical food chain approach to the resilient supply chain, circular economy supply chain, and short supply chain. Most of the differences are related with the number of hectares, the area covered, and the time needed for the foodstuff to reach the consumers. In this way, I discovered that basically now the most important issue is food waste. Due to the length and in time and space of the food supply chains. So let's see what is food waste. Is something about the food that is fit for consumption, but it's in a deliberate or unconscious way throughout, and this is occur in 2 sections. First of all, we are talking about food loss that are the result of issue in production, storage, processing, and distribution phases, or is deliberately accepted by the producer because I have in mind the solar panel example. The system yield is about 12.5% in most of the cases. Just in deserts or place, very sunny place like Atacama, for instance, is a little bit more than 24. But the system designed for so lower yields, it's not a proper one. And then the second aspect, the second part where food are used in not a proper way is referred to the consumption area, where the consumers are due to many issue situation discard the products. So the food losses can be managed by institutional or by let's say entities policies. There are, of course, situations like accidents. Here you can see, or accepted losses, but by improving the infrastructure can be managed. But in the same time, food waste is a matter of mentality, or matter of approach, and those two pictures, I think, show us everything. You can see here in the right corner from 2, 4, 6, 8 plates, 5 are almost full. That means very dangerous for the sustainability, a very unproductive approach. So I mentioned the food waste, that the food loss that occur during the whole production and existing period of the foodstuff, from the production and even harvesting of the raw materials, handling and storage, processing, distribution, marketing of the foodstuff, and finally from the consumption sector. So I put here a graph that show us the losses, food waste and food losses in Europe. You can see values. For instance, I was shocked that Romania is not quite in the top, but have over 60% of household food waste. But also a shock for me was that very developed countries had even bigger ratios. Like, look here, Sweden, 81, and the data are from 2023. I go deeper and I find very interesting statistic about losses and waste of the foodstuff. As you can see, according with the areas, the ratios are very different. For instance, in North America, the consumption is responsible for most of the losses and wastings. But in sub-Saharan Africa, for instance, the percentage is very, very low. The situation from the production point of view, it's quite balanced because of globalization. All the equipments and facilities for production are of course have of course the similar capabilities, well, but the handling is strictly related with the country's infrastructures. And you can see Asia and Africa have a very high percentage. The 6% from North America and Oceania, it's raising me some questions, but after I study a little bit more, is based on the business climate. North America is a very dynamic compared with other countries in the world. So there, the business allow a quicker life cycle of the food stuff. So food losses are responsible also for unsustainable situation in the world. And I found this graph. Yes, it's a little bit older. It's just from 2011. But if we count the emission, the greenhouses gas emissions, the total amount is comparable with some of the biggest states in the world emissions. That also raise some questions about the sustainability, not just in the field of or in the view of community sustainability, in the view of global sustainability. So it's important to have an overview. How much are those losses in the food chains, and a third of the food stuff are wasted, and 24% of calories from food are also wasted. The reason are very various, and all the wastes appears from the farm to fork in any possible way. Most of the time, the responsible categories are consumers and producers. I put producers first because due to the marketing options that they are implemented, we are forced to buy more than we need. So despite that, consumers actually are responsible for the most of the losses. You saw in this graph, sorry. In this graph, household food waste, it's major share. Actually, this is an effect of the producer marketing policies. There are, of course, possible approaches for reducing food loss and waste in any moment. I was very curious when I take an overview, what is the most common issue, and it seems to be related with the lack of technology, lack of training of the producer staff, and also lack of education of the consumers. So I go also on the new approach that should, let's say, save us, and the policies coordinated by United Nations and FAO seems to be very promising. We'll see after all up to 2030. But first of all, we should assess very clear and very precise the food waste. There are some measures proposed by the United Nations, and those are related to the identifying the scope. The sector each sector should be separately assessed, like in the HACCP methodology procedures. We should emphasize everything on the particular cases. Then, of course, we should have the proper methods to measure the food waste, conduct studies using those methods. There is a lack of studies because you saw in the beginning of the presentation just less than 2,000 or 20,000, let's say, studies scientifically based in the mainstream. Then scale measurements for a very covering very covering at the national level. Calculate, of course, the food waste index, and very important repeat studies very often, well, not very often, often that is possible in order to have a general overview and the dynamic of the food waste. Of course, there are some outlines that propose general approach for each sector by using a common methodology, and also some method of assessing for each sector. Also, we should have in mind to discriminate edible and unedible food waste, because unedible, of course, is not a waste. And think about public-private partnership. Most of the time, the municipalities, the governments are not very successful in implementation of the policies. For this reason, there are many calls that support projects for implementing all kind of policies, but also in the food sector, it's a very particular case due to the huge target groups and very heterogenic target groups. There are some good practices cases in the world. You can see here on this map. There are countries that or organizations that in the countries that start applying this approach. Everything based on the food system, because maybe my research in the beginning was a little bit not very accurate. I was thinking just about food. But I like very much the approach of the US DA that considered food system based on FAO, of course, FAO recommendation, a very, very complex system that have, of course, in the center the consumers, and at the base the basic needs and resources. There are many interaction in these food systems, and due to the globalization, the international markets actually are acting as a regulator. If price of wheat in US is increasing, in Romania will be for sure an increasing of meat price. But the sustainability also is a regulator of them, making the correction it's supposed to make the correction between environment, the markets, and the society. All the action, of course, should be under the rules of or the realities of the food waste pyramid, and responsible consumption and processing. The aim is to have destruction of the food waste at the lowest possible level. For a better understanding, I put here the branches that USDA consider it for now, because it's a very fluid definition and description that is updating very often. Most of the branches of the food system, branches that contain this one, works about the food industry. And I was discovering years ago some items like education in the field, of course, of food systems, research and development, financial services, including regulation bodies that are considered by them, by the USDA, as part of the food system. A very, very large, not large, wide coverage of the meaning of food system. Of course, everything is based on science, food science, from the food engineering that developed the tools, and food technology that applied these tools in the reality. Of course, in the line with the chemical and bioscience new findings, but also regulated or not regulated, limited by the nutritional science that through nutrition and dietetics is filtering, let's say, it's filtering the results of the others. So there are many proposed action from the government side, from the business environment side, also from education side. But we should take in consideration that the producers of raw materials that are in the worst position due to the very long production time needed for their outputs, and of course consumers demands. For the access of consumers to the real information, relevant information, as I mentioned in one of my interventions before, the labeling should be updated. Now we have this kind of labeling. I put here low-fat milk, okay. Even in this picture that is a little bit magnified, 1.5 at least, the readings, the writings here are very hard to be read. And also there are not many information about the company that is producing, their policy, their approach from the sustainability and societal point of view. So including a QR in the labels should be an aim of the future regulations, because in this way the access will be complete, and the right of the consumers, not just from the, let's say, nutritional facts, is respected, but also the rights of the consumers from the general life quality are emphasized in this way. Then to support the local producers. Okay, there are many policies at the national level, at European level, but I think in order to enhance the local markets, the public procurements should be rethinked. I mean, a correction index for companies, local companies that provide in the same community the goods can be an option. That means the short chain is very short supply chain is very much supported. Then promoting the embedded food stuff obtained from local resources that provide an important boost to the local business, to the local communities. Of course, we had a project in the past. We discovered that many products are not similar, but have common points. In this way, education of new specialists in the field of food science to have the approach of innovating the products by using local resources, like in this picture. Okay, not all the time the resources are available, but we should avoid let's say, to make tourists with raw materials across the Europe or the world, because they are carrying on in this way a large carbon footprint and water footprint. Then educating parents and children in an institutional way. Of course, teachers, the trainers have some authority in the field, but for adults. Children are not very confident in the teachers. Most of the time, parents are the main pillars of their small world, let's say. So in this way, because the parents are quite young and they are not trained, they are not educated in a real perception about food and eating healthy food or eating in a healthy way. We should try to focus on introducing this approach by common meals in schools, basically. Then, of course, developing healthy habits, eating habits by education of the specialist, not educating them just in the way of producing, but educating them in the meaning, the main meaning of food stuff. They should have also good training in ethical issues about the food consumption. So thank you for attention, and if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you, Adrian. I think it's better to move on for the last speaker, because Maria must leave very soon. So any questions to Adrian can be put in the debate if you desire. Okay, thank you, Adrian. So let's move to the last speaker. It's the third Maria on this webinar. There are a lot of Marias in the world. So Dr. Maria Dermiti is a lecturer at Atlantic Technological University in Ireland, and she'll guide us through the ethical and societal dimensions of making sustainable food choices. The title of her presentation, I think it was inspired by William Shakespeare, is To Eat or Not to Eat. Okay, Maria, thank you for joining us, and can you please present yourself before you start? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paolo. I hope you can hear me, but I can't share because Adrian is sharing. So,
Okay.
Yes, now it should work.
Yeah.
So I hope you can see my presentation.
Yeah. Okay.
So today, as Paolo said, I'm going to present you the work that my students are doing towards sustainable food product development. So I am a lecturer in ATU Sligo. I'm teaching food product development, food legislation, and sustainable food production. So during my presentation, I'm just going to give you a brief overview of the consumer food choice motives. However, Professor Maria Raquel has already done that in a lot of detail. And then I'm going to just highlight some important stages during product development where we could incorporate sustainability. And I'm going to show you some examples from the work, as I mentioned, that my PhD students are doing. An example where the focus is mostly on social sustainability. Of course, we take into consideration the other three pillars as well. And then I will be giving you examples where we are choosing ingredients that are more environmental friendly. And I will finish with some food for thought for all of us. So as Professor Maria Raquel has already mentioned, there are multiple factors that affect the food choices of the consumers. And I like to use this hymn from Professor Koster, which shows that we have consumer-related factors such as psychological, biological, sociocultural, and situational factors. And I told you that my background is on food product development. So us as food product developers, what we are trying to do is to take these consumer-related factors and develop products with specific characteristics, such as sensory characteristics, labeling, as it was also highlighted by my colleagues earlier, cost as well. So develop products that address the food choices of the consumers. So what I would like to show you now is this scheme that shows the different steps that we will have to go through in order to develop a food product. And I would like to show you at the top how we come up with different ideas that will lead to different products that will be launched. So the ideas can come from legislation changes, from consumer trends, from market research trends and market screening. And the other thing that I would like to show you is the fact that when we want to incorporate the three pillars of sustainability, the environmental, the financial, and the social, there are multiple steps where we can incorporate these pillars. So, as I mentioned to you, like we consider the consumers the core of our food product development. So the first example that I would like to show you, as I mentioned, is an example of the social pillar. And it is the work that we have been doing with my PhD student, Maroc, on the development of foods for older adults. So this work started, I started this work when I was a postdoc in the University of Reading, and then I did some research while I was in Limerick. So why we are focusing on older adults? And why is it important right now that we're speaking? So as we all know, the population is increasing, but at the same time, the population is aging. So there is a significant, it is expected that the older adults will increase significantly. But as we age, our needs are changing, and the needs are changing because there are a number of changes, like physiological changes, changes in nutrition, social changes, and financial changes. And as product developers, there are many opportunities for us to address the needs of older adults. So we can change the packaging to make it more friendly, or we can develop functional foods that address the nutritional needs, but also always taking into consideration the sensory properties that these foods have in order to make sure that the older consumers will be consuming them. So this is actually the work of Maroc, who is having her Viva very soon. Maroc is developing high protein foods for older adults. And the reason that we are focusing on high protein foods is because our protein needs change as we age. But at the same time, what we are trying to do, I mentioned that, we're not forgetting, we're focusing on the social aspects of sustainability, but we're not forgetting as well the environmental aspects. And we are trying to develop or actually use proteins, not only dairy proteins, but also plant-based proteins, in order to enrich the foods with proteins for older adults. So the first step of this work was to ask the consumers, to ask older adults what kind of food products they would like to be developed. This led to a publication, and also it led to the choice of a food product, which was a soup. So the next stages was to use a combination of dairy and plant-based proteins in soups, and also, because this was quite challenging, we also used enzymatic hydrolysis in order to incorporate as much as possible without changing the physicochemical properties of the soups, but always taking into consideration the sensory properties of the soups, and also, highlighting the importance of having these products being tested by our target population, which was the older adults. So this was, as I said, an example of where we use social. The social pillar is very, very important. But I would also like to move on and show you, again, looking at the different steps in food product development, showing you the stage of ingredient sourcing towards more sustainable ingredients. And I would also like to show you the research again of my PhD students, starting with the work of Leocardia, which focuses on the use of insects. And why we're using insects, because there is a lot of information to show that they are a sustainable alternative to meat. However, from a nutritional point of view, they are comparable. And we have already some insect species approved as novel food in EU. So how can we use them? How can, again, not forgetting the social aspects, not forgetting what the consumers want, what the consumers need, when we're developing foods that contain insects. So Leocardia's work is exploring ways to incorporate insects into the food supply chain, starting from the use of insects as feed. So in this part of her study, she explored the views of consumers and farmers and how happy or how willing they were, first of all, to use for the farmers to use insects as feed, and for the consumers to eat food products that have been fed, animal products that have been fed with insects. In general, they were quite positive. The main concern that the farmers had was the safety of the insects when used as feed. And then we moved on with Leocardia to do more work on exploring the factors that affect consumer acceptance of insects in their diet. And because her work as well is to develop food products that contain insects, she also asked the consumers through focus group studies to come up with product ideas where they would like to see insects incorporated, because the reality is that the consumers that we asked in Ireland, also we did some work in France and some work in Greece, showed us that they don't want insects to be visible. So we are asking the consumers to help us come up with product ideas where we could incorporate insects. The other work that I would like to show you is the work that we are doing on the production of mycoprotein. And I must say that we are not actually producing the mycoprotein. And just before I say a few things about the production of mycoprotein, you might know it already, because it is the brand that is already available in the market is Quorn. And it is a meat-free protein that has a meat-like texture. And again, it's nutritious, it's high in protein, high in fiber, low in total and saturated fats. But why am I showing you mycoprotein, and how is it linked to sustainable consumption and production? We are working with our partners in UCD, who are actually, it's University College Dublin. So they are producing mycoprotein using brewer spent grain, which is a byproduct of beer production. And they are growing fungi there that result in mycoprotein. And our job, again, as product developers is, how can we use this ingredient by asking the consumers, again, how can we use this ingredient and make products that are acceptable by the consumers? And the last piece of work that I would like to show you is the work of my PhD, Shelley, who is working on upcycled ingredients. And again, I would like to thank Adrian for the very detailed description of what food waste and food losses are, and the stats that provided us with. And the importance of working with food waste and losses and how to minimize them. And looking at the food waste hierarchy, again, Adrian showed that earlier, where we are with the work that Shelley is doing with upcycled ingredients. As you can see, prevention is the most favorable option, but if we can't prevent, what can we do? So we are in the stage of reusing. So what we are trying to do with upcycling or upcycled ingredients, we're trying to use edible, avoidable, or possibly avoidable to new food products. So this is the work of Shelley, who is exploring ingredients from the fruit and vegetable processing, and is trying, as I mentioned, to develop new food products and incorporate new food products. So Shelley's research is working along the food supply chain, which again was highlighted by my colleagues earlier, the importance of considering the whole supply chain when we're talking about sustainable consumption and production. So the first thing that Shelley did was to understand consumers' views and understand how acceptable it was to consume foods with upcycled ingredients and which factors would determine that. But she also explored the whole supply chain when we're talking about the fruit and vegetable supply chain. So she explored the views of the different stakeholders, starting from primary producers, moving to retailers, people working in catering, and see the challenges that they face and how they deal with these kind of ingredients. So these two pieces of work led us to the development of a number of products, again, considering consumers and asking consumers what they think. And I'm giving you the examples of two products that we have here, a soup that contained whole vegetables, like with as minimum amount of waste as possible, and muffins where we use the whole bananas, including the peels and, of course, the flesh. This work also highlighted, and again, this was highlighted by my colleagues who's presented before me, highlighted the need to educate all the stakeholders across the supply chain. So we are working with the Food Cloud Academy and Food Cloud Academy. And we have developed a massive online open course in order to educate people working in the food industry on food waste, how to measure food waste, and how to manage food waste and losses. Food Cloud has already massive online open course on food waste at home, but this particular one, which is free, and I would encourage you to give it a try or to share it with your colleagues, is focusing on people working in the industry. So what I would like to, to show you and to summarize from what I have presented here, and it is actually emphasizing what has already been discussed by the presenters before me, that when we're talking about sustainable food production, sustainable food product development, which is our focus, consumers need to be in the core of our work, because there is no point to develop different foods that could be more environmental friendly if the consumers don't accept them. And we have seen with our work that sensory acceptability is very, very important. So regardless of how healthy something is or environmentally sustainable, if people don't like its taste, its flavor, its texture, they're not going to eat it again. With all these ingredients that we're using, because some of them are quite novel, safety is very important, allergenicity, especially for some new ingredients like mycoprotein or or insects, it is again something that we need to consider. And scaling up production is again something that is important to consider, especially if we want to discuss about financial sustainability. And I want to emphasize the three pillars that we need to consider when we're developing foods. And of course, again, that was highlighted by the presenters before me, taking into consideration the whole system, the whole food system, when we are considering sustainable consumption and production. So I would like to thank my students who have worked and contributed to this presentation, and also to the people who have tasted the products that we have developed. And I would like to thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Maria. I think you have time for a question. I know you must leave, so I don't know if someone asks Maria.
I have until quarter past.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay. We have Raquel. Okay, Raquel. Good morning.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon.
Oh, good
Here
afternoon.
in Spain, good afternoon, good morning. Okay, thank you very much, Paulo, and congrats for giving us this very interesting webinar. And I have several questions, but I would like to start asking Beatrice. I don't know if Beatrice is there, about the initiative in the canteens in the university, in Parma University.
Okay, Raquel, have you questions to Maria, because she must
No,
leave?
No, thank you.
Okay,
Directly to Beatrice. Okay, that's okay. Okay, I can be here and I can wait. No problem at all.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
There's no questions to Maria. So thank you, Maria, for your presentation. And you are already able to leave as you want. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So let's move to the debate. This will be an open section. I will share a screen. My screen. So, okay. For this debate, the basic question is which role can the EU Green Alliance play in addressing sustainable and conscious food consumption in our countries? This is the main question. So I don't know, but I think we can start talking about the general perspectives. There are two questions. I don't know if someone can say something about this. What you think? What are the most significant barriers to achieving sustainable food production and consumption, and how can this be overcome? And the role of the EU Green can do in this. And another question is how can consumers balance personal preferences with broader societal and environmental responsibilities in their food choices? These two questions, the speakers already spoke about this, but I think you can broaden our discussion in these two questions. I don't know if someone wants to talk a little bit about this. Okay, Adrian.
Okay, let's break the ice. In my opinion, the most significant barrier is related with education. Actually, the people in charge with lay down the regulations are not very well trained in the food sector. So maybe they are not understanding this. And sometimes their opinion is not following the expert recommendation. On the other side, the consumers have a lack of informations about food stuff. So educating, long life learning, let's see in the view of the project. Yes, the adults and the children should be a goal that can remove this barrier.
Okay. Maria Dermiki.
Just sorry, just before I go, like from our research, when we have asked consumers in terms of, you know, their sustainable food choices and the barriers that they find, the problem is price, because some of them, you know, most sustainable, according to them, like local or organic, is quite expensive. So this is one of the issues. So even if they know that something is good for the environment, if they can't afford it, they're not going to buy it. And also, I don't know if our research is biased because we're focusing on sensory properties of the food, but again, if they don't like something, if they don't like the taste of something or the appearance of something, they're not going to buy it or they're not going to consume it if it is, you know, if it is environmental friendly. And an example that we have seen was the soups that we developed. So the soups that were, you know, producing less food losses and food waste were not the ones that were preferred because the sensory properties were not acceptable. They knew that they were decreasing the amount of food waste, but they weren't, you know, that wasn't enough to make them want to buy them again. So that's my the take from our findings. But yes, education is very important indeed, and I agree with Adrian that we need to educate lifelong education from children in creche to older adults, which we have also seen from our research with older adults. So, but there are many things that need to be done, I think, at the same time. Sorry.
Okay. Thank you. Raquel, can you share your concerns, your questions?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Paulo. Yes, of course, this webinar has been really very interesting. For sure, education, I think, is the first thing that we have to promote in order to eat in a very conscious way. And for sure, I think that it is very important. It has been already said that economy and money is also a very important thing. This is why I would like to ask to Beatrice. I suppose I don't know if she's still here in this webinar.
No.
Is not here.
No,
okay,
no.
It's just no, because I would like to know how they in the University of Parma deal with the university canteens. I mean, for instance, what what they do with the waste food that they generate, if they use this for compost or for another issues, and also who launched the initiative to do these studies regarding regarding this sustainable way in which we can consume all this food in the canteens. I don't know if this is something that director, the general manager, or who from the responsible board in the university was the responsible person launching this initiative. This is my question, and this is my concern, because who is in charge of launching this sustainable initiative? Because sometimes it is a matter of of finance, of funds, money, and economical issues. So this was my concern, my question regarding this webinar. I don't know.
Are you talking about the Beatrice talk? Yeah.
Yeah. Regarding
okay.
yes, regarding the initiative that they did in the university canteens.
Okay. We can
How is in your
mail
university?
to her, and
Yeah. No, I would like to know how is in the rest of the universities. For instance, in Évora, do you have a special concern in your canteens? Do you do something regarding healthy food, something related with conscious consumption? I don't know in the rest of the universities, but you have some policy regarding this concern, regarding this issue? How is in Évora? Do you know
No,
about that?
in Évora, unfortunately, our director of the social services that manage the canteens are not in this webinar. So, but they have they implemented some initiatives to particularly to solve the question of waste. And also we have agreement with external stakeholder that they collect the waste and they do composting.
Okay.
This is I don't know if Maria Raquel know something more about this in our university, but I know the initiatives that we have in our university regarding the canteens.
No, I have no more information. No,
Okay.
only that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Because,
Adrian.
yeah.
Okay,
Sorry.
Adrian.
Well, I saw a good practice about this in Turkish university. Well, they have money, so they can afford it.
Yeah.
Actually, the menus were at the wheel. Let's say at the wheel, they are proposed by a team of 3 nutritionists that are hired by actually not the university, because the social services are run by the government, the central government, and the universities are the beneficiaries. So in this way, they had 3 nutritionists that were working together to propose the menus, and the head of the canteen was just in charge with the procurement, not with the products themselves. In this view, I think we should decentralize the service, because, for instance, we externalized the canteen services.
Ah,
The private company,
yeah.
but they are not following any kind of policies. So we now, because we have a long-term contract, we now building. We are in the phase of building a new canteen to have the proper approach.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes, here in the University of Extremadura, it's almost the same. This is an external company who provide canteens. So as far as I know, the general manager opened, I don't know exactly the name, procurement, yes, and a lot of people apply to this procurement, and then they. But usually it is something related with money. I mean, the most economical proposal usually is that the proposal that usually win, to say it in some way. So maybe we have to promote this good initiative in some way, doing some kind of investment on trying to include in this, I mean, in this proposal, including something regarding with health, food, healthy, yes, healthy menus, and so on. We have to promote these best practices in, at least now that we are inside an alliance who is promoting these good practices. This is our next step, at least from the University of Extremadura. And also, Paulo, promoting the composting, because you know that we have here we have some proposals, some project in this regard. So maybe also one of the things that we can do as an alliance is promoting all these practices. Let's see.
Okay. Thank you. Felipe? Felipe Vegas want to speak?
Can you listen me?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I would like to thanks to all the every lecturer, every person who took part in this event, and I would like to add that perhaps from our university we have to start, as Raquel said, in our canteens and in our campuses to promote, I don't know, local consumption, because trying to avoid all other large or far regions products could be a good manner. I don't know what you think about local production and growth and local meals,
Yeah, okay. Adrian.
Yes, very short one. Actually, last week, I remember now, I was in Évora, and one of tools in order to increase the sustainability of food production and consumption can be event organization, events, like Joanna Barroso presented last week in Évora. She was so eloquent, so involved, and she get attention of everybody, actually. So this kind of approach maybe will increase significant the sustainable food production and consumption.
Okay, so this I think this a good way to to go probably to these questions. How can universities influence national or EU-wide policies on food sustainability through research and advocacy? What kind of initiatives, events. What kind of initiatives you think that Green can promote to engage external partners addressing these issues? And of course, which key partners you think we should involve? Who wants to talk? I don't know if you want to say something about this. Let me see. Felipe?
I think that we could perhaps we could involve primary productors, people who is in the day by day with cows, with the wheat, with the vegetable what we are going to eat, so they can show us how they work and how they give us these good meals that we have to cook. No, because perhaps this view of the of the of the production is not so close to general society. It's my point of view.
Okay, Adrian, and then Raquel.
There are some constraints about our real possibility to influence national or even local policies in the field. But I think that common projects like Videra that provide resources to encourage the exchanges from the company staff abroad in good practices entities that increase their level of competence and efficiency, meet new approaches and environments in the field should be a possible way to increase the influence of our entities.
Okay, thank you. Raquel?
Well, one of the things that we are working for from the U-Green team from the University of Extremadura is to try to promote a space, U-Green space, for having to develop events, EU-Green events, in such a way that we can hire catering in which we promote the use of local products, as Felipe said, and also to promote a healthy way in which this event can be developed. I mean, we will try in, I don't know, we have to work on it. But we would like to hire companies, mainly catering companies, involved in a sustainable way to produce food, to produce meals, and to be aware about this conscious consumption. We will try to do that in some way to have events with a U-Green label in which we can confirm that products come from 0 kilometer or trying to promote this kind of activities. This is the next step that regarding this issue, we would like to promote from the University of Extremadura. I'm crossing my fingers.
Yeah, and count with Evora to join. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Of course.
Thank you.
We are close, Evora and
yeah, sure. We know.
we are very close. And of course, you have also to make efforts to short the food chain. That is, I think it is very important to do that. So I have the Yuzune. Yuzune?
Hello?
Yeah?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. By the way, I'm very much interested with this program, and I'm not feeling good, but the interest that I have forced me to attend on the EU Green, presentations since the last week. So one of the things I want to suggest in relation to event organization is, organizing a research output communicating conference at annual or biannual phase, and trying to invite these policymakers in order to communicate the policy outline, the research outcomes. The scholars have the only capacity to lobby the policymakers in order to buy the idea, the knowledge that they are generating, rather than, we don't have the capacity to enforce them. The other thing, in addition to these policymakers, it's good to invite, parents, publicly influential persons and key stakeholders in order to attend, this kind of workshop, the research workshop. I don't know whether you have that kind of platform or not. I'm just simply suggesting that one. In addition, what I want to suggest is that I don't know whether it's in the scope of EU Green Alliance or not. This is, knowledge is a global commodity. If it's possible, it's good to select universities and institutes from, regions like Africa and Asia, so that they can, gain the chance to share the expertise that you have. Because, more than 2.4 billion people are suffering from food shortage these days. They are food insecure. Here we are talking about, the waste and the losses. So how can we, integrate this besides, the usual approach, this is improving productivity, approaching different, different modalities. They are there for a long period of time. So if possible, if there is room right now or not in the second phase of EU Green Alliance, I think it's good to consider, institutes or universities from developing nations in order to at least bring the world to more or less similar situation in terms of at least food consumption. I know I'm speaking out of the context. Anyways, I want to suggest this one. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Yusune. This is an important question, so of course. So any comments? Adrian?
Okay. Actually, there is a common program in the frame of Erasmus Plus, the program of mobilities in partner countries that encourage the knowledge sharing of about several topics, many topics, but even of this one. In this way, I was in India, Kenya, and Senegal to share my knowledge in their universities. Also, there were students from India that came in our university. Now is on their way students from Tunisia. So actually, everything is about education and knowledge. How we can present the opportunities, the communication of the opportunities should be the key. And as I mentioned before, educating the policymaker, not sell them an idea, educating them in order to be confident that idea is good, because otherwise it's just something
just words.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Felipe, yeah, I think you want to come in again. Felipe.
Sorry, it's not me. It's Antonio Roman. Please,
Okay.
Antonio.
Antonio. I can't hear you. I can hear.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me
hello.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I am using Felipe's link because I lost mine, so that's why. And I was raising my hand, and it was you were thinking that it was Felipe. So congratulations, because the webinar has been very, very interesting so far. And I would like to share something, like a couple of things. On one hand, I think it will be very interesting, and I don't know if you already did something like this, to map and to have a clear picture on what is happening at the moment in the EU Green Campuses canteens. So this is something that could be suggested to the Work Package 8, but I think it will be good to know where we are and to see how we can change it and how can improve it. This will be also a way of having an impact from the EU Green changes that we can implement, but to know what is being offered in terms of food and value chains and what kind of products are at the moment used. This is on one hand a suggestion, and it could be it could go even farther to try to get some inputs from students and consumption habits. But this could be complex, but or we can also make a simple version of this. And on the other hand, answering to the first question, when we think about how can universities influence national or EU-wide policies, I really think we should be part of the EU CAP network, so the Common Agricultural Policy, where important policies in terms of food sustainability and food production are produced and implemented and then distributed in the member states. And I think we could play a role because from the different clusters related to food production, I am sure we can inspire policies. So I think this is something that could be strongly considered. It's not that difficult to participate in the workshops they usually implement across Europe. And in my opinion, this is a very important opportunity. We already shared this with the Work Package 3. And probably this could be reconsidered in the frame of this initiative. And of course, our task force in the Work Package 5 will also be a very interesting space to further discuss this. Paulo.
Yeah. You have to make another meeting to considering this task force to move on. But I'm waiting for the things I have asked to my colleagues in Evra to move forward.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So I think this we can talk about the future direction. So I'm sorry. Okay. We have also talked about some ideas, but what innovative ideas or emerging trends could revolutionize sustainable food system in the next decade. If you want to say something about that, and a more personal question is if you could implement one change, just one change in the global food system starting tomorrow, what will be and why? I don't know if someone wants to say about this. This is not easy questions, but Raquel?
You mean in a personal way?
Yeah, it's a personal way.
Okay, a personal decision. Let me no, it's true. Let me tell you, Paulo, that I learned a lot in this webinar. Not only in this webinar, to be honest, but also in the webinars in the last week. You remember regarding food waste. And I learned a lot about how many liters of water are needed to grow 1 kilo of chicken or meat. So I think
my
that
colleague Ridias talk about that. Yeah.
Yes. I learned a lot because
Yeah.
you know I am not an expert in this subject. So my personal decision will be to try to consume more vegetable because of course I like meat. I like chicken, but my personal contribution to this conscious consumption will be to try to eat more vegetable and to try to follow more Mediterranean diet. So if this will be my contribution, I will try to do that. And also I will try to spread the word regarding this around my friends, around my family. And yes, this will be my contribution if I can help.
Okay, Hadrian.
Okay. Yeah, many liters for chicken,
Yeah.
but emphasizing about 10 liters for a piece of paper. So
yeah,
let's not reading.
not only food, not only food.
Yes. Okay. The idea, the most innovative idea that I am seeing now is virtual reality, because this will grant access to the information to the specialists. They will provide cooperative working and also even, let's say, not, well, personal touch. It's not personal, but it's direct contact in the virtual reality. Access to infrastructure for training that was not available until now. Universities are not able to provide at every 5 years the new technology in the labs, for instance. And as a personal opinion about changing the global food system, I think that labeling is the key, because actually wasting of foodstuff, it's hidden. Carbon footprint, it's hidden. Water footprint is not visible anywhere in the labels. So labeling with sustainability facts, like the nutritional facts, I think will increase the sustainability of food consumption. Make people conscious about the effects of inappropriate consumption, production and consumption.
And water is really an issue.
Yes.
Water, the consumption of
Yeah.
water is an issue.
Yeah.
Actually, we are talking about the electric cars that will be the savers of the planet, yes?
Yeah.
But for 1 kilo of lithium, we need 2 millions of liters of water.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
No.
yes, it's not our water because unfortunately water is used where it's most demanded in Africa, where are the mines. So you understand me?
Yeah, it is sustainability and sustainable.
Yes.
This is the question. So, okay. Well, I think this is, well, it's too late. But I think we can end this this webinar. So I want to take this moment to, of course, to thank all of you for your active participation, insightful questions, and shared commitment to build a more sustainable future. A special thanks to the speakers for their valuable contributions. And now let's carry forward for the ideas and connections we have built today. I think the journey towards sustainable food system is not easy, but requires some collective effort of our institutions, our communities, and individuals. So as part of the EU Green Alliance, we have, I think, a unique opportunity to lead by example, drive meaningful change, and inspire others to join us in this mission. So thank you once again for being part of this event. We look forward for continuing this dialogue and see the impact of our actions. And so let me say, just have a wonderful day, and let's stay connected as we work toward greener, healthier, and more sustainable future.
Okay.
So, and finally, and think about what we're going to do by now. I think it's to lunch. I think we must think about what to eat or not to eat.
Yes. No meat.
No meat.
No chicken,
Well,
Raquel.
not too much meat. Not too much meat.
Enough, not too much, not
Enough.
enough.
Not too much food. Not too much food.
Eat everything on your plate. Don't leave anything behind.
Yeah. Balance is the key.
Balance. Yes.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Personalized diet.
Thank you, Paolo. Thank you so much. Doing a great job.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Francis.
Bye-bye.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ok, Rui. Rui, estás a ouvir?